Law and Justice sector welcomes home Late Justice Davani. Diabetic patient numbers increasing each year. And anti-Trump protests begin across America.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and welcome to Thursday's news. The casket of late Justice Catherine Davani arrived this afternoon at the Jacksons International Airport in Port Moresby from Brisbane, Australia. The casket was received with a ceremonial parade by members of the Law and Justice sector. Eric Harupma reports.
A state ceremonial welcome for the body of Justice Catherine Davani commenced this afternoon at the Jacksons International Airport following the arrival of the casket. Family members including Chief Justice Sesalamo Injia, Deputy Chief Justice Gibbs Salika, Justice Allen David, and members of the judicial and legal fraternity stood in silence as the casket was led in by members of the law and justice sector. Many of the people whom the late justice had an impact on their lives wept openly. Justice Davani died at a hospital in Brisbane, Australia last Friday while undergoing treatment for breast cancer, which she has been fighting for some time. She was the first woman judge to serve in the National and Supreme Court jurisdiction until an untimely death. The casket was taken to a home at Boroko for viewing before taken to Dove Funeral Home. Eric Harupma, National EMTV News.
The number of patients with diabetes is increasing annually at the Port Moresby General Hospital. This is according to Dr. Stephen Bogosia from the Port Moresby General Hospital, who says he is seeing people coming down with type 2 diabetes and the complications that come with it. He is part of the Diabetes Association of Papua New Guinea, which is conducting health activities around Port Moresby leading up to World Diabetes Day that is commemorated on November 14th. The Diabetes Association of Papua New Guinea has come together this month to raise awareness on type 2 diabetes and its complications. This follows this year's theme, Eyes on Diabetes, which is one of the complications of type 2 diabetes.
Amputation right now, apart from trauma, diabetes leads to a lot of people having lost their limbs, lower limbs especially, with diabetes. Now, these are complications. And we know that diabetes is a lifestyle disease.
Eye specialist Dr. Mina Sultan says diabetes can cause cataracts and in its late stages, eye diabetes can cause irreversible blindness. She said many patients who come in with eye diabetes often come in its late stages, and by then it is too late to perform laser treatment.
Diabetes, the high blood sugar, affects the little retinal blood vessels. These blood vessels get damaged and they start to leak fluid. When they leak fluid, there is swelling at the back of the eye at a part called the macula, which makes us focus and see. When that happens, vision drops.
Meanwhile, Dr. Stephen Bogosia said alcohol consumption, bitter nut chewing and smoking are risk factors that can cause type 2 diabetes.
This problem of diabetes is a real problem. Not only in Port Moresby, we are seeing the same trend in other provinces as well. We just had our medical symposium in September in Alatau, and we came back from there, and most of the other hospitals were reporting that diabetes is still one of the leading causes of morbidity and mortality in the other provinces as well.
The NCD urban health centers have begun conducting free blood sugar tests, while the Pacific International Hospital will be conducting free retinal eye checkups on Tuesday. CPL, another stakeholder of the Diabetes Association, will be conducting free screenings at City Pharmacy Boroko and Waigani Central this weekend. This is all in the lead-up to World Diabetes Day that will be commemorated on November 14, where the association will conduct free screening at the Jack Piddick Park. Merlin Daukatam, National EMTV News. The PNG Health Support Workers Association will take a bold stand in addressing the current submission of log of claims with the Department of Personnel Management to go on a nationwide strike. More than 3,000 non-clinical members throughout the country are prepared for a 3-week nationwide strike. This decision is pending following the secret ballot that will be submitted to the Health Support Workers Association executives tomorrow morning at the Electoral Commission. Counselling service is the main rehabilitation program needed not only at Lays Buimo Jail, but also in the other jails around the country. Prisoners need to undergo counselling to help prepare them after they leave the prison and start a new life. Buimo's Welfare and Rehabilitation Officer Sergeant Arnold Juvai says rehabilitation programs help boost inmates' confidence and self-esteem. Juvai says this was evident after witnessing the reaction of 72 prisoners graduating with a certificate after completing a Bible course training a week ago.
These inmates are part of the group of 72 prisoners who graduated with certificates. The training sponsored by the Gospel Bible Institute of Australia. It started in 2013 and has held 3 graduations since it began. Sergeant Juvai says this program has made an impact on the lives of these inmates and has also helped CS officers.
When I ask for enrollment and all this related to this Bible study, you will just see hundreds coming in. But then we have it sort of like limited, so we just select few and then let others go. And then when it comes to next enrollment again, we have people coming in again.
The Gospel Bible Institute has also introduced a new degree program. Buimo Jail was selected to try out the new concept before it can be applied to the other jails around the country. A prisoner has already been identified to try out this new program. Apart from this program, Buimo Jail also needs other rehabilitation programs to help inmates, as one day they will return to their family and live with the community. Therefore, there is a need to identify 2 different sets of programs to help prisoners from the rural areas and those from the urban centers.
So it is fair that we identify specific skills training that is needed in the rural area, rural setting. So when you are trained in here, they go back to rural settings, they use that skills to fit into the society, fit into their communities, and also in urban areas we see people that will go back and maybe want to find employment or they want to start a small SME or something.
The biggest challenge for the Buimo Jail is the need to provide counseling services to the inmates. For now, CS officers do what they can to help the prisoners. The Lutheran Church has started providing counseling, but needs to make a formal agreement to continue providing that much-needed service. Sergeant Juvai is appealing to responsible organizations that provide counseling services to assist Buimo. Mata Luis, National EMTV News, Lay.
Lay families are making close to 1,000 kina per day on the buai trade and are paying for goods and services from profits made from their small stalls. The informal sector trade has become lucrative and some people have quit their low-paying jobs to sell buai full-time. Bethany Herman with this report.
A family house at Lay's 5th Street. Outside the front yard, a family is selling buai on its stall. They make roughly 1,000 kina per day. Some of it goes to replenishing stock and the rest is their profit. They are fully involved in the buai trade because customers spend over 10 kina every day on the nut.
Bro, how much you can spend in the buai one per day? 10 kina about 10 kina one per day.
The mother of the house isn't concerned about going back to work. She has resigned to sell buai full-time.
Last time you work morning and now you sit on the buai market. You making more money or?
Yes. Say more money, Lord, fortnight.
Fortnight, you're wasting time.
But there is concern for the trade. People are aware of the buai disease that has killed trees in parts of the Morobe and Medang province. They are calling on authorities to manage the problem.
Some like him Nari or DIL Oligan Gona Lugluglo. This level binatang sa affecting more buhay.
Yesterday, EMTV spoke to buy traders at the Bumbu market. During intense selling, they sell in bulk and make over 15,000 kina per day. Within the informal sector trade, there is space for families to make a profit. Small table markets like this one make close to 1,000 kina per day, more than what most employed Papua New Guineans make after a fortnight. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Lay.
Among stories after the break, Number One Super announced their new unified call center number. Stay tuned for details. Welcome back. Number One Super today announced to members and stakeholders that it now has a unified call center number, 1599 for all telecom operators. 1599 replaces all previous call center numbers. Chief Manager Member Services Charlie Gilichibi said this improvement is part of Number One Super's digital transformation program to provide better services to its members.
Since the opening of the Number One Plaza in July this year, Papua New Guinea's largest superannuation fund, Number One Super Limited, continues to strive for improvements to better its services to its 160,000 members nationwide. The new unified call center number, 1599, replaces all previous call center numbers, including Telecom's 309-5311, Digicel's 333-7777, and B-Mobile 7611-2222. It ensures members easily remember one call center number that's localized to each network operator and will not incur interconnection costs.
Number One Super responds to calls in a manner that 98% of calls are responded to within 5 seconds. And that's a very important record that Number One Super is having in Papua New Guinea. So for today, we are launching another improved feature to our call center. Instead of having 3 call center numbers, we are now having only one unified call center number, which is 1599. So Number One Super members around the country don't have to remember 3 different numbers. All they need to remember is only one call center number, and they dial that number, they get in touch with Number One Super.
Head of Project Management Office and Information Technology, Presley Semi, said with this IT-based solution, the call center service is now standardized.
Before this change, most members normally call whatever branches that's local to them. So if someone is in Hagen, they call up Hagen branch, and they respond to their queries and they provide assistance. And so if someone is in Medang, they do that too. So if you can imagine, they might not get the same level of service. Response provided in Hagen might be different from whatever the member servicing officer in Medang is providing members in Medang. So one of the strategy for Number One Super is to centralize the communication so everything comes back to the call center. So every member, when they call in using this short code, gets a standardized response.
Taking the media team on a tour of the office premises, Mr. Gilichibi explained that Number One has a state-of-the-art call center that exceeds international benchmarks by responding to calls within 5 seconds. The call center gets about 1,000 calls in a day. Mr. Gilichibi said the deployment of 1599 further improves Number One Super's standing as a truly customer-focused organization. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
Flights operated by PNG Air into Mesima in Milne Bay Province have resumed. This has been confirmed by Chief Commercial Officer Paul Abbott. After a site inspection was conducted on the airstrip, normal scheduled flights resumed yesterday. PNG Air has apologized, stating that safety was paramount in its operations. Motor Vehicle Insurance Limited has adopted a new claimant system to deal with the increasing numbers of insurance claims in the country. The aim of this system is to bring MVIL services down to every province within a period of 6 months. A week-long training conducted in Port Moresby today educates officers about the system.
This system is part of MVIL's major reforms undertaken from its 3-year strategic plan 2013 to 2015. It covers 2 priority areas: registering third party to collect revenue for insurance and registration, and settle claims for vehicles involving car accidents.
With the system, we've modified our claims system by the developer, and so that part of collecting claims, registering claims, and the initial assessment will be done in the provinces. So that's it. So the system is connected to the headquarters, so it's remotely controlled from here. So we will be able to know what and who has registered claims in those provinces, and we can manage it here quickly.
With MVIL's ambition to decentralize functions in every province around Papua New Guinea, officers from other centers were called to attend this training. This training is important because it provides an avenue for officers to deliver services more efficiently and effectively through provincial offices, given the functions being centralized in Port Moresby.
Functions being centralized here at the headquarters, you see, you don't get all these, correspondence coming to the headquarters quickly within time. So we were able to say, okay, as part of our plan, we said we'll decentralize certain parts of the claims into the various provinces so that our officers can serve our people in those respective provinces rather than coming to Moresby.
It enables clients to submit their claims on time through respective provincial offices and to avoid cases of the delayed 6 months period contracted with ICCC and the Insurance Commission.
I have a contractual obligation with ICCC. I said we want to deliver that in 6 months, so we signed for 6 months. So that means any new claims that reach our office, we should be able to settle that in 6 months. But then because of the functions being centralized here at the headquarters, you see, you don't get all these, correspondence coming to the headquarters quickly within time.
Eric Arupma, National EMTV News.
Enga Province is slowly but surely shedding the way back tag. As it welcomes investments from the government and other donor partners, the province aims to become a vibrant hub that is not dependent on the extractive industry.
The province has started with laying down the foundations of education and health, and the progress in these areas are attracting support from donor partners such as the Australian government, European Union, and the Asian Development Bank. In education, primary schools are being upgraded while support is also pouring in for tertiary institutions like the Enga Teachers College, Nursing College, and the 5th Polytechnical College to be built in the province.
It's taken me 20 years to get Enga to being an attractive investment province. So we believe that we can comfortably say that Enga has now laid the foundation, the right foundation, to actually now start to see Enga take on the challenges in terms of development and growth.
In health, the provincial hospital is being upgraded and will also become a teaching hospital with a medical school attached. Support from ADB will see the building of 4 new community health posts in the province. With the steady progress in education and health, the province is also prioritizing further development of agriculture, which is going to be the economic foundation for the province.
Agriculture will put money into our common people, the villages, pockets, and so we have now partnered Agro Center. We've partnered them, and we are at Surunki, a 23 million kina project.
With the support of the national government and other partners, Governor Ipatas is confident of the province's progress.
It looks bright for Enga. It's a difficult province. We have difficult people to manage. They are good when they want to be good. They can be bad when they want to be bad. But as a leader and as a government, we need to, manage the attitudes of our people and make them see that the right way to, achieving development and the right way to living a life.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
A memorandum of understanding was signed today between the Coffee Industry Corporation and Gulf Governor Havila Kavo. The signing of the MOU creates a partnership between the CIC and Gulf Provincial Government, who will work together to bring innovative and sustainable projects to help rural coffee farmers in Kaintiba.
Kaintiba is a place in Papua New Guinea known for its high production of organically grown coffee. Over the years, farmers around the area have been challenged with transportation and access to proper markets. Today, transportation and access to proper markets still remain struggles for many farmers. The signing of the MOU today will create the pathway for CIC to facilitate and help deliver necessary facilities to boost coffee production in Kaintiba. CEO of Coffee Industry Corporation, Mr. Charles Dambui, thanked Governor Kavo for taking the initiative, saying this partnership will bring sustainable outcomes for many coffee farmers in Kaintiba.
A very big thank you to the governor and his team of staff, especially the provincial administration, for initiating this project. Like the governor said, Gulf Province is one of the new growth areas that coffee industry is targeting at the moment. We realize that there is a very big potential for coffee that is coming out from remote parts of the province, and Kaintiba is no exception to that. Over the years, we have actually got some very good coffee out from Kaintiba. And like the governor said, one of the problems that the coffee industry encountered or the coffee growers encountered is the discount in prices.
An initial amount of 1 million kina has been allocated by Gulf Provincial Government to develop a rehabilitation program in Kaintiba and Koitanga. Gulf is the third to sign the MOU.
Thank you.
Mari Kauna, National EMTV News.
A man is dead over what has been termed as a dispute over land, and his family retaliated by burning down houses and properties of the village where the suspect resides. Police in Popondetta are now investigating. This murder case is part of a string of other recent criminal cases which have unfolded in Northern Province. Our journalist Fabian Hakalitz visited the village this afternoon and files this report from Popondetta.
EMTV arrived at Junita village this afternoon accompanied by Northern Provincial Police Commander Chief Inspector Lincoln Gerari. This is the perpetrator's village who committed murder to the deceased, the late John Francis Waiwa.
Any good reason, he just got a spear and spear him to death. And he's now in the morgue at Popondetta General Hospital. But I personally came to attend to this incident.
All you can see now are the remains of some of the properties that were burned down. That includes 6 houses, banana patches and coconut trees. At this time, police do not know the whereabouts of the people who used to reside in this village. What the family wants is full law in order to take its course.
Brother, I'm typing so me by nakisin life belongan but come back and finish so I'm alright. Law by deal one time but kill him soul belongan and the big man so I'm kiss him but legally.
The deceased body is now at the Popondetta General Hospital morgue. EMTV will visit the medical officials tomorrow to verify the cause of his death.
They also injured one of the relatives of the suspect. I have no information as to whether he's dead or still alive, but that's the information I have.
In Popondetta, Fabian Hakalitz, National EMTV News.
Melanesian Trustee Services announced today that it will support the Coalition for Change and make a stand against gender-based violence in Papua New Guinea. MTSL Chief Executive Officer Kennedy Wemin acknowledged the high rate of gender-based violence in PNG and the important responsibility of individuals and corporate citizens to make a difference.
Melanesian Trustee Services Limited, as trustee for the Pacific Balanced Fund, will now be supporting the Coalition for Change PNG through its Community Benefit Scheme. Mr. Wemin said the Coalition for Change, or CFC, was an example of the community responding to domestic violence.
As an institution, we can say, well, we've helped one person. But there are thousands and thousands of individuals who have suffered from domestic and sexual violence that are all around our country. And very little is actually been done, or almost virtually nothing has been done.
He said MTSL was proud to have assisted a recent victim of domestic violence. Mr. Wemin called on other corporate citizens and individuals to make a stand and reduce statistics. He then presented the keys of a Ford Ranger to Lani Kami, chairlady of CFC, with the hope that the vehicle will assist with CFC's outreach program and make a change.
We want to partner with Coalition for Change. We want to assist Coalition for Change.
Mrs. Kami thanked MTSL for the opportunity for CFC to reach a wider range of people in the community. CFC has been focused on forming and writing up the Family Protection Act, which was passed in 2013. Their work has since continued to doing further awareness and advocacy on the services provided to victims and survivors of domestic violence.
Our message this year is domestic violence happens every day. Stop it. This is not something that should be happening every day. If in fact that we're asking each and every person, man, woman and child, to be able to stand up and say no more.
She said progress has been due to mindsets, and CFC hopes to continue to let this message evolve and let the change of mindset towards ending domestic violence continue. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
And now looking at our finance news, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.3155 US in the interbank markets. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.3080 US, 0.4 Australian dollars, 0.2791 euro and 32.2 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee and copra closed higher, while cocoa closed the day lower. Palm oil, crude oil and copper closed the day higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 256.95 points higher. The ASX is trading at 172.25 points higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 170.57 points lower. When we come back, the latest on the reactions to Donald Trump's win as President-elect of the United States. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump is said to have traveled to the White House today to meet with President Obama. Meanwhile, world leaders are reacting to the stunning election victory.
If the world had had a vote, periodic polling suggested that it would look like this. Instead, America voted, and it looks like this. World reaction has come in fast and furious. Congratulations all round, as usual, on the win of a free and fair democratic election, but also concern. French President François Hollande.
The US is an ally of France, and I ask for a conversation with the new administration come January 20th on important subjects like the fight against terrorism. I also urge vigilance because of statements made by Donald Trump.
Statements like calling NATO obsolete and then flip-flopping and saying that he's a big fan, but that allies would anyway have to pay or lose US protection.
I don't want to be taken advantage of. We're protecting countries that most of the people in this room have never even heard of.
Seeming to turn the 70-year cornerstone of transatlantic security into a mere business deal. The truth is, no one quite knows what a Trump foreign policy would look like. German Chancellor Angela Merkel made this conditional offer.
Germany and America are bound together by values, democracy, freedom,
respect of law and respect of people, regardless of their origin, the colour of their skin, their religion, gender, sexual orientation, or their political beliefs. On the basis of these values, I'm offering to work closely with the future President of the United States, Donald Trump.
A big concern is a resurgent Russia, annexing Crimea, invading eastern Ukraine, and intervening on behalf of Syria's President Bashar Assad. Trump has repeatedly praised President Putin and his leadership, and today, Putin returned the compliment.
I also want to congratulate Mr. Donald Trump with his victory in these elections. We have heard his electoral slogans about resuming and restoring relations with Russia. We understand the way to that will be difficult, taking into account the current state of degradation of relations between Russia and the United States.
Allies expect the next president to defend the integrity of, quote, brand America, its democratic system that underpins its global leadership, after Russia has been roundly accused of trying to undermine its legitimacy. In Europe, an outpouring of love from the far right. The Netherlands' Geert Wilders tweeted, "A historic victory, a revolution. We will also give our country back to the Dutch." A jubilant Nigel Farage, the father of Brexit, tweeted, "I hand over the mantle to Donald Trump. Looks like 2016 is going to be the year of two big political revolutions." And the far-right French party leader Marine Le Pen called this a new world order.
The French referendum in 2005, the Greek referendum in 2015, the recent electoral success of patriots in different European countries, the massive vote of the British for Brexit, and now Donald Trump's election. These are so many democratic choices which bury the old order, and so many bricks which can build the world of tomorrow.
As an array of strongmen line up from China to the Philippines to Turkey, from Russia to Europe and now the United States, the German Vice-Chancellor announced, "Trump is a warning to us as well. He is the harbinger of a new authoritarian and chauvinistic international movement."
In the United States, protests have broken out after Trump was elected president. People have come out in several cities protesting against their new president. We captured live pictures earlier on of CNN's coverage in the Los Angeles area.
And right now, LAPD has been very lenient with the situation, very hands-off, and allowing these protesters their Second Amendment to speak what they want to do, say what they want to say, take over streets, and they have been out here in numbers. Right now, though, it's starting to get to the point where when you start shutting down the traffic, you start getting civilians in harm's way, officers in harm's way out there. Nobody has been injured yet. But nevertheless, it's basically, I believe that this crowd crossed the line. We've been hearing Tom talk about it. It must be an experience in itself to be down there with these type of crowds running around. And that's the thing, it's mob mentality. If somebody starts running, everybody starts running. Nobody knows why. Amazing that nobody's been trampled. There have been no injuries to anybody that we know of as of yet. Right now, though, the crowd that was huge on the freeway, not so big. It is split up. Officers from the California Highway Patrol, LAPD, all out here right now. We are listening in, trying to really figure out what their plan is. They wanted to stop the movement of the group. They have done that, that's for sure. This small group kind of just sitting right there, not moving, sitting on the roadway, holding up their signs. Officers from the LAPD at this location, some California Highway Patrol surrounded over up on the top, more off to the north, and then you've got that group of officers right there basically formulating a plan. I believe that battalion is going to be used where needed. If something happens and they have people running, these guys will jump into action. Right now, though, it seems to be more of a waiting game and almost like chess. You're basically positioning your pieces on the board, trying to get in a way where you might be able to corral this huge crowd that's just been so unruly out here in the Los Angeles area.
In the news ahead, the arrival of the final teams making up the 16 countries taking part in the FIFA World Cup. Details in Chukai Sports after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. The three-time winner of the Under-20 Women's World Cup, Team USA, arrived today along with Oceania's leading contender, New Zealand. The Black Princesses from Ghana also arrived early this morning to a rousing welcome at the Jacksons International Airport.
The Stars and Stripes already pose a threat before the tournament, having featured in the FIFA Women's World Cup 7 times since its inception in 2002. Winning the tournament 3 times, the Americans edged North American rivals and tournament host Canada to claim the inaugural Under-20 Women's World Cup. The Americans will be eager to get their dominance back on track on the world stage in this competition, with key players among the squad in the likes of Mallory Pooh, Ashley Sanchez and Jessie Scarpa. Meanwhile, New Zealand's junior football fans have qualified for the Under-20 Women's World Cup 6 times, with the squad boasting extensive experience at the international level. And 8 players in the qualifying tournament were veterans of the FIFA U17 Women's World Cup. However, Papua New Guinea 2016 will be a unique opportunity for New Zealand to play on the world stage in their own continent, with the tournament being the first at this level to be played in Oceania. Although the Black Princesses will be featuring in their 4th consecutive FIFA U20 Women's World Cup, the West Africans are still waiting for their first quarter-final appearance. After scoring just 1 goal on a route to Canada 2014, the Black Princesses tailed 17 in 6 qualifiers, this time making their 4th appearance. This concludes the arrival of all 16 participating teams, and we can now say the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup Papua New Guinea 2016 is well underway. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
The PNG Under-20 team did not feature in any qualifiers, but they will make their appearance in this year's World Cup as host. They will compete in Pool A with heavyweights Brazil, Sweden and Korea DPR.
The opportunity to host the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup landed on PNG's palm in 2013 after Ghana passed up the opportunity to do so. PNG, whose national football teams have never made an appearance in any World Cup, took up the challenge and brought together a team of young women who have featured previously in other tournaments nationally and in the region. Lack of exposure to the World Cup was quickly ironed out through former Boston Breakers head coach Lisa Cole. The American was given the task of grooming these young women late last year. Some months ago, team organization and tactical awareness were challenging, but potential was evident in these youngsters, and Coach Cole set out to groom them. Now, with 2 days to the first match day, these inexperienced players will go up against Brazil, a team that has overwhelming presence in football and the last 7 World Cups. Coach Cole urged the country to have realistic expectations.
U20s have never played in a competition before. They've never even been to a World Cup. They've never been to an OFC event. So this is actually their first competition. And it's the World Cup. It's the best teams in the world, not the best teams in OFC, not the other islands. So it's a big jump for a lot of these players, but I think over the course of the year we've had a lot of success getting them prepared from a confidence standpoint. But you can't just flip the switch and be like, we're ready.
After multiple training camps in the country as well as the region and the recent US tour, the 21 women's squad have moved away from playing as individuals as they are now more structured, where team effort is evident in all friendlies they have played.
Now and then, can we put together a program that leads to success over time, not instant success? And so I think the fans need to look at the game and go, wow, look at that potential out there. What could we do in another year? What could we do in 2 years when we're at the World Cup because we earned it?
They will brave heavyweights Brazil on Sunday, and as Coach Cole reiterated, they will be setting the level to play for footballers in the country. Dini Rose Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
Traffic congestions will be experienced over the next 2 weeks in the nation's capital. This is due to the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup here in Papua New Guinea. This will go on till the 3rd of December.
Most of the roads leading to the match venues will be closed off during match days. This is to allow free access for teams to move to and from the field of play. All access roads will be closed 2 days prior to game day to control safety and security of pedestrian and traffic near the 4 venues. The 4 venues are the Sejonggai Stadium, National Football Stadium, Bava Stadium and the PNG Football Stadium. Roads from Ward Street Primary School leading to the Sejonggai Stadium and the PNG Football Stadium will be one-way traffic that will be controlled for the Department of Labour and PNG Education Institute access. Same for the National Football Stadium, where roads will be blocked at the Rita Flynn Court roundabout, while traffic will be controlled at the Engau Drive roundabout. One end of the street leading to the stadium will be closed off, while the other will be controlled for Boroku residents. For roads leading to Bava, they will be partially closed as of Saturday, the 12th of November. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The PNG men's national football team is ready to play Iran in the one-off international friendly in Kuala Lumpur today. Coach Fleming Seretslev said he is happy with training, but is worried the camp has not been together as a whole until this week for the international players to join. He has, however, instructed his side to remain positive with PNG in an unbelievable position against Iran. Iran is ranked 27th in the world.
We have first had the whole squad actually collected yesterday, so players have come in step by step of various reasons. So it has not been, you could say, a normal preparation. But the players, they look good. They are very soon finding back to our way of playing, our playing style philosophy. So I believe we can do a good performance tomorrow.
After levelling the World Cricket League ODI series 1-1 with host Hong Kong on Sunday, the Hebo PNG Barramundis went on to play the decider yesterday. Unfortunately, Hong Kong defeated the Barras by 7 runs in the decider. The Barras will have a month's rest before preparing for a busy 2017.
Though the Hong Kong ODI series turned out in the host's favour, the Barramundis have a lot to smile about for this year. In May, they hosted a World Cricket League series for the first time, where they played against Kenya and defeated them 2-0. In the months leading up to the Namibia meet, the Barras did exclusive tours in Australia. The most successful one was in the South Australia Cricket Association campaign, where the Barras finished 4th amongst a tough field of competitors. Skipper Asad Vala became one of the top 3 favourites when he recorded 2 half-centuries and an unbeaten 113 when he became the second lead scorer in the 2016 Soccer Premier League campaign, where the Papua New Guinea side featured for 2 weeks prior to the Namibia meet. Barras' other lead batsman Willie Guevara also made it to 3rd placing with 11 votes alongside Mavericks Harry Nelson and Western Grid's Daniel Drew. The month of October was successful for the PNG side again. As host team, they managed a clean sweep in the 2-day series against Namibia for the Intercontinental Cup, followed by 2 successful World Cricket League ODIs. After the Hong Kong decider match yesterday, skipper Vala said it has been a successful year for his team and they have gained a lot more than they have lost. The loss to Hong Kong is not seen as a defeat but a stepping stone, as they will enter 2017 as a bigger, better and stronger team. They return this afternoon and will rest for a month before going into training again for next year. Meanwhile, Hong Kong, Singapore and the United Emirates will battle it out for the 2016 World Cricket League title. Din Rose Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports. Your weather details coming up after these short messages.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow: in the southern region, mostly fine in Port Moresby and Kerema, cloudy periods with chances of light showers in Daru, and fine in Alotau and Popondetta. In the Momase region, mostly fine in Lae and Wewak, fine in Medang and fine and sunny in Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, fine in Lorengau, Mostly fine in Kavieng and Kimbe. Chances of a shower or two developing later in Kokopo and Rabaul, and a few showers and thunderstorms in Buka. And in the Highlands region, mostly fine in all centres.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
And that's been National EMTV News this Thursday, the 10th of November 2016. We leave you tonight with pictures of some of the teams arriving for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. On behalf of the EMTV News team, pleasant viewing, good night.